Welcome, everybody. I am Jen O'Sullivan, and we have been doing Natural Supplements Week. We are simulcasting this on multiple areas, so it's been a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys are getting a lot of information. Today's posts are a little shorter. We're trying to keep them at around 20 minutes. I was doing some yesterday and the day before that were an hour long and getting a few complaints from you guys saying they're too long. But whenever we do these longer videos, these kind of larger topical explanations, I want to give you the most content. So what I do is encourage you guys all to just listen to them in segments. Like if you're working out or going on a walk or driving in the car, you don't need to see me. I'm not showing anything. I'm not doing anything that would cause you to have to watch me. So, just listen along. And if nothing else, go ahead and listen to my podcast, right? That makes it easy because it just goes one after the other, and it's all good. So what we're going to be talking about today is joints and mobility. So let's just dive in, all right? So welcome, you guys. We're going to talk about joints and mobility. It's one of my favorite topics simply because it's why I got into the Young Living supplement line. I am an avid mountain biker, aggressive mountain biker. I have a hard time riding with women because they're a little slow. And so I really enjoy a lot of really, really rocky, crazy terrain where most people walk down it, and I just love it. It's like super fun. I'm getting older though, so I've been a little cautious lately, walking down a few things that normally I would go down. But it's just a lot of fun. But it's very aggressive on your body. I broke 2 ribs last year. I'm dealing with a shoulder injury that's finally healing up on me, but I'm constantly you guys will see me come on videos with my arms are just completely I've got scars all over my arms from just rubble, right? So mountain biking is fun, but not easy on your body. The other thing I do road ride, not as much. That's not as hard on your joints, but I used to run a lot. I was in track. I've run marathons. I just have damaged my knees tremendously. My hip flexors, because I'm a biker, don't get a lot of workout, so they're always super stiff, and I sit all day long. You guys know that I'm a writer as well, and I'm constantly on my computer when I'm not writing or outside, and I hike a lot too. So I'm active, but then I'm sedentary, and then I'm super active, and then I'm sedentary. So what was happening was my joints just kind of atrophy. Right. So I'll be sitting here, and then to get up, I'm I can't really get up. I've sort of I'm stuck in this position. Or, if I'm in the car, I sort of walk funny when I get out. Or if I'm trying to walk upstairs, it's eh, eh, right? My knees are literally creaking, and people who are in front of me and behind me are like, what's that noise? It's my knees. So I just have been sort of a bit of a train wreck on my body, and I have had some major issues with just being able to do what I want to do, right? I'm 45 years old. I should be able to still do what I want to do. And so about two summers ago, a bunch of you girls were telling me, just please, Jen, take Agile Ease. And I kid you not, I didn't even know it was in it. I didn't even pay attention. I had no clue that turmeric was the main thing. I think somehow my mind read over that. And even teaching supplements last summer, everyone's like, Jen, there's turmeric in there. And I'm like, what? So it was just an interesting thing because I started taking it, and you don't feel anything at first. And after about the first 2 weeks, I didn't feel anything. And I was sort of bummed out. And then I realized, wait a minute, you don't feel anything. Meaning I wasn't having mobility problems anymore. I felt fine. So, if on a day that you just, everything feels good and there's no inflammation and no pain and all that stuff, you just feel good. That's how I felt. And I was like, what? It was so weird to me that everything just went away. And again, this is my story. This is what happened to me. I literally couldn't sleep at night because I'm a side sleeper, and the pain in my hips. I was buying those cuddle bed toppers. I was getting all sorts of different weird pillows that I could sleep on my hip. And nothing worked, and it was such a pain, and I couldn't figure anything out until you guys told me to please, 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 Jen, just shut up about your hip pain and start on Agile Ease. So it was just so funny because I just was so against it all. I was against supplements. I had been against supplements for many years. And then I tried it, And then I started researching why, right? Why did this work so well? Like that, my brain can't let something go. I'm like a dog with a bone. I can't let it go. And I started just digging in and learning about joint and mobility health and about things that go on in our bodies, things that I was eating that was causing inflammation in my body. And that is a big one. When you start going down the lectin, rabbit trail, it's a little bit frustrating. And when you start to understand, just things like corn and wheat and rice, like all sorts of grains that cause so much inflammation in your body, when you start to understand certain seeds, certain fruits and vegetables that you thought were healthy actually aren't, certain things that just toxins, they're toxins in the plant for the plant's protection to keep animals, i.e., me, away from eating them so that they will still grow, right? And so our bodies, while that's one element, we're able to eat certain things and we should be able to eat certain things. Our farmers, right, especially here in the United States, have drastically bastardized the industry, from genetically modifying things to using Roundup on things to, kind of engineering them a little bit so that they grow faster, grow stronger, grow without seeds, right? There's all these different GMO processes, and then also just slightly processed things, like where they've sort of with science crossbred things, right? Hybridization. And all of that causes inflammation in the body when we're eating things like that our bodies don't understand. And so that's where I started learning a lot about food, but also about how natural supplementation, things that have like your best interest at heart because they're from nature, is the way to go, right? So when you're looking at supplementation, I encourage you guys to look at things with MSM. Turmeric is really good. Omega-3 fatty acids are also really good. Spirulina is something to consider as well. And there's, like I said, there's all things to avoid. I could go over a whole list of food, and we've talked about this over the last 2 days, so we're going to hit it here again. But we want to eliminate like processed meats, sliced sandwich meats, canned meats. You want to get rid of anything gluten, anything containing flour, like breads and pasta, anything containing any of that stuff. Soybeans and vegetable oils, processed foods, and these are processed oils, right? So you want to stay away from chips and crackers and sodas and sugary drinks such as like alcohol. You want to stay away from all trans fat found in fried foods. You want to, it's in packaged foods as well. You want to stay away from dairy such as cheese and milk. Definitely sugar substitutes like aspartame is really bad for inflammation. You want to stay away from corn, like popcorn. I woke up this morning, you guys, I told you last night we went to see a movie. It was awesome. The popcorn's really good, and I do eat it when we go to the movies, but I haven't eaten it in, I guess it's been maybe 3 months since we've gone to a movie. So I haven't had popcorn in 3 months. And I never get the butter because I know the butter has gluten in it. So I can't eat that. But I get the popcorn and we split it. So like I get the box and I pour some in one of those like cup holder things, and then my husband takes the bag and dumps it with all the butter and gross stuff on it. And so I'm eating this, and it wasn't a lot, but you guys, I woke up this morning with fully swollen eyes, and I was like, this is like a gluten reaction. And he goes, well, maybe there's gluten in the popcorn, right? And I'm like, no, it's the same popcorn, and the gluten is in the butter. We've talked with the company about this back and forth with Regal, and I'm like, it's the popcorn, it's the corn. Like I know better. So I gotta stay away from that, right? And my eyes are still a little itchy from it. It's really weird. But you want to stay away from things like popcorn and things that contain corn, like chips and corn tortillas, many cereals. There's so many items where corn is hiding, where you're looking at like salad dressings and chewing gum and peanut butter, soft drink sweeteners like corn syrup. That's huge everywhere. So there's a meal plan on Endo 180. It's a free thing that I did a long time ago. It's just a meal plan that I recommend. I try to stick to. It's a very good, healthy way to eat. It's on endo180.com. And what that means is to give your endocrine system a 180 based on what you're eating. But when you're looking at food and the inflammatory response in your body, if you have a hard time with food elimination, where it's just not processing well, I want you to truly consider a digestive enzyme, okay? And that's important because digestive enzymes, even though a digestive enzyme is something that some people think, well, it could be optional. And I did put it as optional for this protocol. It is so important if you think you're having food allergies, meaning your body's not processing through lectins. And so probably on version 2 of this book, we will talk about lectins in detail, but there's only so much we can do, right? We're constantly improving this thing. So let's get into understanding certain supplementations and how you can move forward with them, and understand that, MSM, like I said, turmeric, omega-3, all those things are really good, but you also want to support your overall immunity and gut health. All right. And that's going to help your joint mobility as well. Okay. I know some of you guys are like, this is a lot, Jen. And I'm like, I know. And I don't do this perfectly every day. I had some peanut M&Ms this morning, which is probably the worst thing you can have in the morning, but they were staring me in the face saying, eat me. And so I did, right? Those guys talk. So I do the best I can, but I try to kind of figure out a rule of percentage games, like I'm not going to be this like stoic robot that doesn't have M&Ms, right? Or whatever. It's a process of like 2 or 3 I'll have, and then get them out of my face. Because if they're in my face, they're in my belly. That's just the way it goes. They talk to me. I mean, do they talk to you guys? I think they talk to you guys too. They talk to people on the TV. It cracks me up. Those commercials are hilarious. Anyhow, I digress. And if you literally cannot cheat, that's fine. And I'm very much the same way, as long as I can cheat if I know there's nothing else in the house, right? Once I cheat, it's like the whole day is cheating. So I have to either cheat only at night, right, as my little treat. So I don't call it a cheat, I call it a treat. Or I see the bag and there's 2 left, and I take them and I eat them and there's none left. And I'm not going to go to I'm too lazy to have to go to the grocery store and buy new ones, right? So that's the only time and that was what was going on downstairs, is it was a bag from, I don't know how long ago, but there was we found it like those peanut M&Ms, I think from convention, and I just grabbed a couple, right? And I feel it in a couple minutes too. Renee was just commenting that she literally feels it in minutes, and I do too. And I thought, as I'm putting it on my mouth, I'm like, I'm going to feel these, right? And I know it's like 2, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to flush it with good water and just help my system get through it. But when you're looking at joints and mobility, right, the peanut in that is not good for you. The lectins in the peanut are causing inflammation in my body. So again, it's just a matter of let's figure out how we can eliminate it the best we can and support it with these supplements. So the support supplements would be CBD by Nature's Ultra and through Young Living, Life 9 and or Mighty Pro. I do both. Ningxia Red, Omega Gize 3, Sulfurzyme, and you can do the capsules or the powder drink or both. Some people do both. That means just take less of the capsules during the day. And then Agiles, Multigreens, and Allerzyme. I highly recommend Allerzyme, but it is an optional thing, or take one of the digestive enzymes. Okay, so with CBD, what's great is that you can rub it on topically and it just feels amazing. So it's great for joint support. I typically at night will take the muscle rub and rub it right on my hips. You can actually take the dropper and do the same thing. Honestly, when I get like my eyes a little bit puffy, I take a tiny bit of the CBD dropper because it's not super spicy. You don't want to use the muscle rub because that's like super spicy, but you could do the roll on or the dropper, and really any of them. The peppermint's a little bit much for around your eyes, so I wouldn't do that, or the cinnamon. So I would use, and what I normally use is the citrus one at night, and just use a couple drops and just as like a little bit of an eye serum, and it's really nice. So that's something to consider. And so you will just use the CBD how you like to use it on the parts of your body that you need it for. And then at breakfast time, you're going to take 1 capsule of Allerzyme just before breakfast. And just know that Allerzyme you will take at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just 1 capsule right before the meal. Again, that is optional, but I do recommend it. And then Mighty Pro, you'll take 1 packet with breakfast, and then you'll do your Ningxia Red. Everybody does this usually anyway. So Ningxia Red in the morning, And then you're going to add Omega Gies and Agile E's with breakfast. So 2 capsules with breakfast of both of those, Agile E's and Omega Gies 3. And then between breakfast and lunch, you'll do your Sulfurzyme. So this has a lot of similarities to our hair one. So that's where I say you can combine things if that will work for you. And that's a great thing. Several of these were in your hair one, the hair, skin, and nails one. And then at lunch, you'll do Allerzyme again, like we said, and then Omega Gies 3. And then you'll take multigreens, 3 capsules with lunch. And it's important to keep multigreens in your body because that's going to help your maintain healthy mobility as well. So then you'll do Sulfurzyme between lunch and dinner. And then at dinner, the Allerzyme again, 1 capsule just prior to dinner. And then you'll do your multigreens, 3 capsules with dinner. And then after dinner, about 2 to 3 hours after dinner, you want to take Life 9. And that's a very important distinction here, that Life 9 is needed, not with essential oil. So you're going to take that on an empty stomach and just no essential oils with that. Okay, and then just before bed, you can use some CBD oil again, or you can use the muscle rub, and that's just going to help with general mobility support. And remember, every person's needs is different, so you're going to do what's right for you. And so I just encourage you guys to clean up your diet a little bit, but also consider paying close attention to when you feel joint pain and stiffness. What did you eat the night before? Realistically, when you get up out of bed in the morning, you shouldn't be like a zombie, like all stiff. And if you are, it's usually because of something you ate the night before. And with my body, I've noticed it's 24 hours later typically. Occasionally, like in the case of the popcorn last night, it's a response because I had a bunch of it. And then you'll, like if you had a big pasta meal at night, and in the morning you wake up and you just feel all achy and ugh, it's usually because you're having a lectin response. And one of the grossest lectin issues, one of the largest, most egregious offenders is gluten. And that's going to be a problem with many of you guys with joint and mobility. So it just means maybe eliminating some stuff, maybe considering what you want to take or not take or do or not do. But what I love about the supplement regimen is that it allows me to feel like me again, even if I'm messing up with the food I'm eating. So of course I want to do better and help these work better. So I live by that 25% rule. Just every once in a while, try to 25% clean it up. But I love the fact that I can take these supplements and still live life, right? That's the point. So I hope this was helpful, and I can't wait to get to the next one because we are talking about pregnancy. So it's coming right up, and I know you guys have lots of questions about that one. So let's just keep moving, right? I love it. You guys have been great. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we will see you guys shortly. All right. Bye, guys.